me see it. Okay. We need to get you back. No. We can't continue the run in this condition. Are you okay to walk? Alright. Well, we better get out of here.
Hello. Come in. How may I help you? Yes, I am the healer, Agwu Nsi. Come in. Oh, you're hurt. Come, have a seat. Let me see here. And how did you get this wound, might I ask? Oh, you were on a scavenger run. Oh, okay. Tell me exactly what happened. Yes. Oh, quite right. Oh, yeah? Well, from the looks of your wound there, it seems you, cut yourself, sliced yourself on a piece of metal. Well, you know, since the war and some grams are still poisoned, may I ask exactly where you went on this scavenger run? Oh, oh my. 1 moment, please. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Oh, here's Puffy. It's turning green. Let me see this here. Oh, it is. Oh, no. Okay. It seems you have an accelerated case of gangrene. But it's no problem. We can heal that. 1 moment, please. Okay, I'm sorry. My office here in my shanty can become a mess if I'm not careful. The wound, I might have right here in my kit something that could clear that up for you. I'm afraid where you were scavenging is quite dangerous. Whatever you brought back with you, take it over to Alita, and she has people who can decontaminate that for you before you take it into your home. Actually, oh, it's just outside the camp. Oh, that's wonderful then. Well, let's get a message back to the security team up there, yeah, and let's ensure that what you scavenge and what those on your team scavenge is properly decontaminated. That way, no one else gets sick or injured. As for your wound, oh, how did I become a healer? I'm hey, that's quite a bit of a long story there. You're asking, become a, well, okay, since you ask, and we have time to apply, let's see, right here, right here, this concoction here, this will should clear the green up. It should cause the inflammation to go down. Yeah. So, back to what you asked me. Well, before the war, I was living my life like everyone else. Hey, yeah. I was born in Nigeria, and in Nigeria, during that time, things were quite difficult. Let's see. My parents escaped barely with their lives. I'm afraid my dad did not make it. My siblings did not make it. It was a very tumultuous time, you see. And, well, we managed to, my mum and I, we made it to an oasis in just north of the Sahara, and well, I lost my mum there, and when, even though I was just 8 years old, I was even then showed signs of being talented in the healing arts. I was able to keep my mum alive, but without the proper tools or the proper medicines or facility, I'm afraid I lost her. So sad. But there is a happy ending. I could not stay at the oasis. I had to leave, and I just started walking. I had no clue where I was going. And before I left the oasis, I met a woman. She was quite a nice woman. Well, a little rough around the edges. More accurately to say the least. She looked at me. She looked into my eyes, and she says to me, "Listen to me. Walk this way." And she pointed me in a direction and said, "If you survive, then you will know, and I will know that you really are an Agwu Nsi acolyte." And I guess she saw me for what I was. Well, to say the least, or rather, to make this story short, I started walking, and it took probably 3 days before I reached the edge of the desert, and also the end of my strength, and I fainted, and then I woke up, and I started to walk again, and I was famished. I was quite famished. I was exhausted beyond comprehension, and then I made it to the edge of the desert. There she was. She looked at me and she said, "Now you are strong. The life you saved was your own. There is much strength within you. If you can make it from there to here, you can make it from here to there." And well, I made it. I survived, I suppose. She gave me water. She gave me a certain type of fruit. I cannot remember its name. It no longer grows anywhere that we are aware of. And it was just enough to return my physical strength. And she took me a few days journey north through Egypt and into Cairo. And then it was in Cairo that she disappeared. And I became a street rat, so to speak. And I ended up meeting my adopted father, Dr. Agnes Nathaniel Webster. Yes, and well, Dr. Webster and his wife Myrta could not have children of their own, and the reason why he took me in was because I stole his wallet. Like I said, I was a street child, but when I saw that he was a doctor, I felt that what he did was important, and a man of his stature needed his all of his credentials. So I tracked him down, and I went to his home, and I returned his wallet and told him I'm sorry. And at first I thought he was going to strike me, but instead he invited me in. He introduced me to his wife, and his wife told me that she was in the midst of preparing a supper. So she led me into the bathroom, and she told me to wash up. And I washed up, and when I got out of there, she had some clothing that just happened to be my size prepared. And so I put them on, and I sat down, and I had dinner with them, supper with them. And from then on, I became their child. They became my ward, and they cared for me as if I was their own. And when Dr. Webster was discredited by his a rival, a colleague who lied, the doctor ended up losing his practice there in Cairo, and we moved to England and then to America. The story's gone on quite a long while. I think it's time to administer this salve here. The label has since burnt out, but I assure you, the chemical inside is the strongest bacitracin ever invented. It's a concoction of my own making. The ingredients are very, very rare. Zaylen herself brought me the ingredients, and I was able to synthesize this very powerful and it should help the healing, as I can tell the inflammation has gone down considerably. I just need you to hold still and close your eye. And one moment, then there. This shouldn't take. Oh, quite strong, quite strong. That should do you just fine. The discoloration of your flesh there has gone down. I'm sorry, the story. You want me to continue? Okay, well, alright. Anyway, we came to America and I studied medicine when I came of age. I entered college and then medical school, and while there, we were given a real patient to work on eventually to conclude our studies, and I was given a subject. Man, he was dying of a rare cancer, and the cancer was eating his brain slowly but surely, and the doctors gave him 6 months. But after I evaluated him, I realized this man does not have 6 months. He has 3 weeks at the most. And so I began to study him and to test out different theories. And I finally settled upon a cure. But because of legalities and such the like, I was restricted from administering it, and then I was barred from ever seeing him because, well, in my opinion, it's corporate greed. Someone wanted to take the cure I invented and exploited for their own financial gain. Then a good friend of mine got me into the ward where the man was dying, and I had I made more than just what they thought I made, and I injected it within the man's veins, and within a month, the man not only was alive and well, but he was sent home to his family, and he was set to live a full life. And it was discovered that I was the one who administered him the medication, and they were quite upset with me. Legally, I should have went to prison, but because the man whose life I saved was wealthy, he kept me out of prison, and I was not allowed to graduate with my class. However, my knowledge concerning medicine is quite considerable. The professor who backed me, Dr. George Winters, Dr. Winters himself was Nigerian, and he appreciated that my story and how I managed to survive, and I don't know, the man just all around took a liking to me, but he was my greatest supporter, and he noticed my skills for healing, and it was he who gave me the name Agwu Nsi. And some thought it was quite a befitting name. So after the war and after the during this apocalyptic era that we've entered, I've decided that the life that I lived prior to the war is gone. So no one knows my real name, but I'm quite fine being called Agwu Nsi. So that's how I got the name. That's how I became a healer, and that is why I am here today with you. So it seems your scar is healing up quite well. Years ago, we had goals, but supplies are limited, and what I have is going to take care of that war, that terrible scar there. I'm sorry. What can I tell you about Azalin? I'm sorry. She's a wonderful woman. She's very strong-willed. But she also has strength of character. She, well, look at it like this. Were it not for her, the writer's cat wouldn't be here, eh? We'd be gone by now, right? Who knows? Possibly all dead. But, yeah, I'm not really comfortable talking about her behind her back. I'll talk about anyone else, but I won't talk about her. I just respect her too much. She gave me purpose again. Helping people is what I wanted to do, not scavenge and dwell in the badlands with the other crooks and robbers. Well, she's helped me out quite a bit, so I'll give back by helping people out. And there are lots of people who need a healer. So, it seems I must put a little more on your wound. Now, this is going to, what I'm doing here, is going to, I'm going to add a little salve here. I know it seems like I'm putting a lot on there, but everything that needed to go inside the wound to kill any extra bacteria or poison has been there. What I'm putting on the bandage here is a slight concoction, and what it'll do for you is it will draw up the poison. It will cause it to leave your body on its own. And I must admit, it is going to be quite painful. I just have to mix the proper chemicals here. Just bear with me. I'm sorry, what? Would I go back to life before the war? I suppose we'd all like to go back to something. But unless you have a time machine of sorts and can stop this crazy war from happening, I'm not interested. But I fear, what I fear is messing with the time stream, in your attempts to correct this timeline, you might just as well accidentally create an even worse scenario. I say let things be as they are. Mankind has healed many diseases, come up with many cures, struggled a lot with himself and with the world in which we live. Sometimes you have to fall in order to get up. Hey, you learned that lesson today, did you not? Okay. I'm not making fun of you. It's just that it's a lesson, and it's a poignant one, and it's worth learning. It's worth thinking about. We have to fall in order to get up. And those who get up are the strong ones, eh? You're quite strong. Because by all rights, you should be dead. But for some reason, the poison either spared your life, or the gods are looking down on you, eh? So, now, I just mix the chemicals. Spread it out nice and good, and then I will smelt it together with the band-aid that I'm going to place over the wound, and we'll see. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. Okay. Now just hold still. Okay. Now, I need to check something out before I let you go. I want to know what your hearing is like. And your hearing is fine, yeah? Okay. Just want to make sure you can Now, what I want you to do next is go to your shanty, go to bed. You're going to sleep for quite a few hours. What I want you to do is sleep so that you're propped up as if you're sitting in a lazy boy. And a lazy boy. You know, a lazy boy. The chair. It's the chair, eh? You sit back and you lean back and your legs go forward. Okay. I want you to sleep in an inclined position, eh? Okay. Alright. And a lot of these remedies I've concocted on my own from the different things that men and women such as yourself scavenge. Right? So I've had to go back and do some rudimentary things in my lab. But while on a run, a scavenger made an excellent find. You know what they found? Was a drug. It's a chemical I quite possibly could not have made here myself in the writer's cup, but one or two of these will help with the pain in the morning. So I'm going to give you one now, and I want you to take it now. By the time you get to your shanty, once you get inside, I want you to sit and rest for at least an hour. Then, I want you to go to sleep in an inclined position. When you awake, take another. And trust me, you won't forget, because you're going to feel pain. Right? And then, I want you to kick back and go to sleep again. Now, when you go to sleep this time, you don't necessarily have to be inclined. You do have to go to sleep. When you wake up, I want you to take the third pill. And I guarantee you, by the next time we see each other, you'll be just fine. Hey? So if you have any more questions, I would direct you to Alita. She is very capable, very knowledgeable. Eh? She can answer any and all questions you have. But if you have any questions concerning health or medicine, please feel free to come here and see me. Okay? Remember, when you wake up in the morning, and one right after you go back to sleep and wake up again. Hey? Okay? Thank you for stopping by Agwu Nsi's home.